So what do you think? Do you think the real estate market in Vancouver starting to slow down again? Yeah, after seeing some positive momentum in June, actually July brought us a very different picture. Home sales dropped almost like 10% compared last year July, and especially like a apartment, it was down like almost 20%. But there's another side to this story that both buyers and sellers need to be understand. And that's really, I mean, looking at those and what those really mean for you if you are looking to either buy or sell. According to the Great Vancouver Realtors, there were 2,061 residential sales in Metro Vancouver in July. That is down 9.8% from July 2025 and almost 20% below the 10-year seasonal average. So that's like a lot. So clearly the demand is not particularly very strong right now. But here is something really interesting I want to share with you. New listings were also down about 11.5% with 4,991 new properties coming down onto the market. And total active inventory was down about 4% from last year, although inventory is still almost 30%, like 27% above the 10-year seasonal average. So we have fewer buyers, but we are also seeing like fewer sellers entering the market. That's just the reality. What does those mean? So for prices, the Metro Vancouver benchmark price is currently sitting at $1,088,800, which is down 6.2% from July last year and about 0.1% from June. So we are seeing some downward pressure, but we are not seeing a dramatic month-to-month correction. And there is an important number I want you to watch: the sales to active listing ratio. For Metro Vancouver overall, it's currently sitting at 13%. So what does that mean? Historically, sustained levels below 12% can create downward pressure, so that if a couple months is sitting at below 12%, the price gonna be go down. And if it's over 20% for a couple months, then the price will be going up. And any number in between 12% 20%, it is more of a balanced market, we call it. So the price is not really going down or going up. So you should know the market isn't behaving exactly the same across all property types. For detached homes, there was 639 sales in July at the benchmark price, and you can see the screen, down 7% from last year. For townhomes, the attached home is there were 454 sales, and with a benchmark price right here, and 6% down from last year. And apartments saw the biggest change. There were 952 apartment sales, down almost 20% from July last year. So the apartment benchmark price is now here down 7.5% year over year. So if you are looking at condos, detached homes or townhomes, it's really important not to assume that the entire Metro Vancouver market is behaving the same. It's not at all. So what does this mean if you are a buyer looking for your next home? Right now, buyers generally have more choices and more negotiating room than they did during a strong seller's market, that's for sure. But I wouldn't interpret this as, wait, because the prices are going to crash. The better strategy is that to identify the right property for yourself and understand its true value market value and negotiate based on the specific circumstances of that property. And with interest rates and financing and the neighborhood level differences, those are all playing a role like in the property. But you can look into it, right? And if you are a seller, this market requires a little more strategy. With sales activity below the long-term average and the buyers having more options, pricing correctly from day one is extremely important, and to prepare to sell is also really, really important in the marketing as well. So the property that's priced realistically can attract attention and create competition. A property that's overpriced can sit in the market for a long time, and then if you do really need to sell, then there's a price reduction, and then eventually it's gonna get sold. But you gotta be prepared with price reduction, but it's take a longer time, it's cost. So I would not recommend simply looking at what your neighbor sold for several months ago and using that as your comparables. Your current competition and the most recent comparable sales matters much more, and the preparation, prepare to sell. So my takeaway from July is this: the Metro Vancouver market isn't collapsing, but it's also not showing strong momentum either. Sales definitely have softened. Inventory remains elevated like a lot compared with historical average numbers, and prices are continuously adjust gradually. For buyers, that can mean opportunity, and for sellers, it means a strategy and the realistic pricing are more important than ever, and have a professional guidance in your home selling process is really important. If you'd like to know what these numbers actually mean for your neighborhood or your property or your situation, just to looking to buy, would love to connect with you and show you what options you have. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next market update. Bye.